Hey, this is Gary Collins and Heath Squier of the Primal Show, and today we're going to let you inside and we're going to talk about what we eat on an average day. It's a little more complicated than that because it'll change, but what do you usually have for breakfast? What's your first meal of the day, Heath?
Definitely egg whites or egg white protein powder and an apple. Typically, I'm pretty regimen through Monday through Friday. I don't really fluctuate with my eating habits. Um, and I always have an organic apple with egg whites or egg white powder. And then I have about, I would say, 2 to 4 shots of espresso that are also organic. Kind of get everything going. And then I take a variety of different supplements. But that's pretty standard for me Monday through Friday. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm pretty regimented too. I don't eat breakfast. I go to the gym first, and I don't eat anything. I wake up and just go empty stomach. I've been doing that for, gosh, probably a year and a half, 2 years now. And now I notice if I eat, I feel bloated before I work out. And it used to be the opposite. I used to be starving as soon as I woke up, and I would have to literally I would roll right out of bed and go straight to the kitchen and start eating.
Well, yeah, and I don't get me wrong. I used to go and do cardio on an empty stomach when I was in my weight loss mode. Right now, I'm in maintenance mode, so it's a little bit different for me. I used to just basically have espresso and then go to the gym, and and
Yeah.
then that way I'm continuing to burn at that fat layer that I wanted to get rid of at the time. But now it's either way, you can still. I'm still in a ketogenic kind of mode when I'm eating egg whites and apple. As long as the apple isn't too big, I'm still going to stay in that fat burning mode as I go to the gym. And then
Oh yeah. Yeah.
directly afterwards, after the gym, where I do about 30 minutes of cardio, I typically do a 10-10-10 method, which is 10 on the treadmill, 10 elliptical, and 10 minutes running. Lately, I have been running more just because I've always wanted to be more of a long distance kind of person. And I'll do about, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes of weight because I'm looking for more of a lean, ripped kind of physique as opposed to bigger muscles. And then
Yeah.
right after that, I'll come home and I'll instantly have some of our. Lately, I've been using our new beef protein, the Paleo protein pure. It only has 2 ingredients. I'll mix it up with a little flavored stevia, and that way I'm instantly sustained right after I work out. It's a great source of protein. How about you?
Well, my workouts are different. I'm a different guy in the sense that I never usually plan workouts. I walk in the gym, I usually don't have a clue what I'm going to do. I usually warm up, and I just don't like to be that regimented far as I don't write what I'm lifting down. I don't keep detailed charts. I got better things to do with my time. So when I walk in, but basically what my regimen is, 4 days is pretty planned out far as my first 2 days are heavy. So Monday, Tuesday, I split my body in two parts, and those will all vary. It's not the same body parts. I mix my body parts all together to keep a variety. And so I lift heavy on those days, more kind of strength training. And then the next 2 days, I split my body parts up again, but I take a day off in the middle. And then Thursday, Friday, I do lighter weights, higher repetitions, but split it up. But I'll work out, and it's pretty close. I do about 20 to 30 minutes of cardio depending on how I feel. But I can't run really much anymore. I have my back surgeries over the year. I can't do anything like that. So I can't do real hard impact. So I use like the row machine, and I'll use the stationary bike and the elliptical, and I kind of try and do it that way. And I'll do some walking, but it's 20, 30 minutes of cardio, and I work out for about 20 to 30 minutes and weight training and stretch, and I'm done. It's
That's
about 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, I would say for me, I'm working out between 3 to 5 days a week right now, depending on my schedule. And but the cleaner my diet is, and the more I hold to my regimen, actually, I don't have to work out that much in
Yep.
order to be in this maintenance mode. If I was looking to get more ripped, I'm going to work out a little bit more, probably go up to that 5 days a week. But I typically rotate though. One day I'll do back, chest, legs. I don't write anything down. And but each exercise is always 3 sets of 15 or 3 sets of 25, depending on the operation. It's more of a high rep, high intensity. I use TRX straps. I use an ab
Okay.
roller. I do the really old school push-ups, pull-ups,
Me too.
squats, just really old school. And you know what? It works. I use a lot of my own body weight for everything that I'm doing. I don't do anything fancy. But when your diet is on point, you're going to get maximum results. So it's pretty
Yep.
straightforward for me. I mean, it's gotten really easy.
Well, I think people would be surprised at how simple our routines and our eating routines are. For me, I work out 4 days a week in far as resistance training. I don't do the high rep stuff all the time, but I will. I'll mix up high reps in there. I'll mix in concentrations where I'm doing slow burn reps. I always change it, but I never go in there with this strict plan because I hate everything being so strict that I feel like I'm going there and I have to think about everything. I like to go in and kind of go with the flow, and I like to go with how my body feels that day too. If I'm a
Sure.
little sluggish, I'll up the intensity to kind of get me going. If I feel good, I'll lift heavier that day because I have the energy levels already there. But one day a week, I bike ride too. I either mountain bike or I road bike, and that's usually 2.5 to 3 hours that I ride. So I break stuff up. And eating, it depends. Yesterday and the day before, I didn't eat till my first meal till 2 o'clock in the afternoon because I was so busy.
Oh my God, I could
But
never do that.
but the thing was, I wasn't hungry. People
Yeah.
would think, oh, you'd be crashing and you're starving to death. And actually, I realized I went, oh heck, I better go eat. I am a little hungry, and I didn't force myself to eat or anything like that. It's just when you're a fat burner, you don't have to eat all the time, man. I mean, I don't tell people everyone's different.
Sure.
Some people do much better by eating breakfast before they go to the gym. I used to do that for years and years and years and years. I don't do it anymore, but I will sometimes. If I wake up and I'm super hungry, I'll eat before I go to the gym. I'll have something to snack on. But it's
Right.
usually the same thing. I have eggs. I eat whole eggs, though. I have 2 to 3 whole eggs. I'll have some vegetable. I usually have squash or a dark leafy kale or spinach, and then another side of like or grass fed free range sausage or something that I get from my local farmer, and it just varies. I everything's a little different. It's
Yeah,
hard to explain the average day for Gary because I'm all over the place.
I typically have more fats after I work out. It seems. I mean, in the morning, it's pretty much just protein and some caffeine to kind of get things going. I will more on the weekends. I'll consume more of the whole eggs, bacon, avocado for breakfast. I'll toss it in a paleo wrap or something like that. But I typically during the week, I'm very strict. And I like to indulge a little more on the weekends and consume more fats. Definitely more satiated that way. Um, Usually after I have the protein after my workout and heading into lunch, I like to change my protein. So already I've consumed source from egg. I've consumed beef protein, and for lunch I'll change it up. It'll be either chicken, fish, or like some grass-fed sort of meat mixed with. I love avocado, so I'll typically mix those two things together and toss it in a wrap or something like that, or make a sandwich on our paleo bread, and then that's pretty much it for lunch. I'm really big into greens, so I try to have steamed broccoli once a day with lunch or with dinner. Hey, hang on one second. I'm going to close this window. Sorry, starting to mow the lawn.
I heard
and
that.
so definitely consuming a lot of greens, whether it's spinach for lunch, is really important, or having a dark greens twice a day, I would say, but definitely having broccoli once a day is really important. I find it's such a great source of iron, and it's such a great anti-estrogen. So,
Yeah, I
how about
usually have
yourself?
I have broccoli every day too. It's one of my favorite vegetables. Broccoli and carrots. Those are my
Yeah,
favorites.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, steaming those things up are great, and it's definitely it fast tracks you to losing weight if that's your goal or maintaining it. So for snacks, I definitely will snack once a day. I'm kind of fortunate right now because I'm formulating like a paleo protein bar and a primal protein bar. One's grass-fed whey protein, and the other one's paleo protein bar, and they're both different sources of protein. But I've been snacking on those lately, so I'm definitely fortunate. I'm looking forward to sharing those with you. But or dark chocolate's another great one, just to kind of cure my little sweet tooth that I have. Um, so I like to have a little bit of sweet. Usually it's definitely low in sugar, and when I say low in sugar, it would have, I would say, less than 5 grams of sugar. I try to keep it around 2 or 3, and usually it's dark chocolate sweetened with stevia or something like that. That way I'm still kind of in that fat burning mode. I always have an apple after lunch too if I'm not going to have dark chocolate. It's another great form of fiber, and it kind of definitely fills you up also. So, how about yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, well, lunch is usually I use usually it's a wrap. I grab a paleo wrap and put some leftovers from the night before dinner, and that's kind of my in between. It's not technically really a lunch because my breakfast is so late. That's usually around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and now be grass-fed beef, it'll be some free-range chicken, usually with some broccoli and carrots and maybe cauliflower or just something, a little vegetable mix with it, and I just mix it up in a wrap and have it real quick, and or a protein shake if I'm in a hurry. It just depends. Like I said, it just depends how much time I have and what I'm doing. If I'm driving around and I know I'm going to be in the car, I'll take a protein shake with me or a
Right.
protein. I don't eat very many protein bars anymore. Waiting for yours, of course, because I told you that I want one. Um, but yeah, for dinner, it's usually a meat. Everything, yeah. There's not a whole lot of sugar. The only sugar I get is usually in the form of bananas. I'll have like a half of a banana for dessert after dinner with some almond butter on it. I'll snack some nuts here and there, but I've been trying to get away from the nuts. I was overdoing it. I found myself digging into the bag of nuts about 5, 6 times a day. And I went, oh,
Uh,
I'm totally overeating.
Yeah, I have a real issue with nuts, and it's probably because of the phytic acid in them. That combined with the starch, because I definitely tend to overdo it, and then it just seems to stop my whole digestive system. It just really kind of clogs up. So I definitely have better results sticking to like macadamia or hazelnut because there's no starch and there's no phytic acid, and they're easier to digest, but still within moderation. Like I really
Yeah.
have to tell myself to only have like a handful of those, and then I'm fine. But they're so easy to overdo. Not to mention it's just sometimes a ton of salt on them.
Yeah.
So
Well, you
what?
know what I call them? I call them the potato chips of paleo and primal. They really are, because once you start, I'd go buy a pound, pound and a half, and I'd bring it, I'd put it on the counter just in the bag that, or throw it in a glass container, and I'd just every time you walk by, you just scoop some every single time, and I realized I went, these literally are my potato chips, and just like anything we preach, a little bit too much of a good thing isn't good. So yeah, I've been getting away from that, and dinner's pretty basic. I don't know about you, but it's just a meat source and vegetable source. I'll eat ground grass-fed beef with just some vegetables in it, and that's it. That's my dinner. I don't have like a salad and 4 courses. I'm such a simpleton. And people think my eating, they go, God, how do you eat that? That sounds so bland. I love what I eat. I
Yeah.
literally love it. I mean, to me
I
it
don't feel
tastes.
deprived at all, especially
No.
because consuming the healthy fats and having all the selections of every kind of meat out there that is once again organic. And the reason you choose organic is so you're not taking in an excess amount of hormones from the meat, which oftentimes
Yeah.
non-organic meat is filled with. That's one, or they're filled with antibiotics, so they start killing off the good bacteria in your stomach, and all of a sudden you're not digesting well. So definitely want to push that not all meat is equal. and
Yeah.
and the way we're talking, if you listen to what we're talking about here in regards to the amounts that we're eating of food and what we're eating, you're actually not expanding your stomach. So it's a constant source of protein. You're not eating so much where your stomach is expanding. Guess what? It's being sucked in, and it's you really are full throughout the day. I don't feel like I don't have sugar cravings anymore. I'll have maybe just a small amount of sweets, and I'm totally satisfied. Whereas before, I'd want to overdo it. And
Yeah.
eating in this fashion that Gary and I are talking about, it really does curb your appetite. You'll feel satiated throughout the day, and I feel energized. I don't feel like an afternoon crash anymore. I will only have my caffeine before noon, and it's just usually just in the morning, and I'll have energy all day long, and yeah. So
Yeah. Well, and
with
that's the thing. I mean, people probably realize too, they go, God, it doesn't sound like they eat a whole lot. And compared to what I used to eat, far as this quantity, I won't get into calories because I don't even measure my calories on that. And but I know my calories are probably far less than they used to be too. But they're dense, good calories.
right.
But I eat probably half of what I used to eat for years and years, and I'm far healthier for it. And it's not like I'm starving myself. It's just I'm not hungry. I eat when I'm hungry,
Right.
And yeah, my last meal is probably around 6 or 7 at night. And then I go for a 30, 45 minute walk right after I eat. And it helps with digestion. It gives me a little more of a cardio and helps me unwind from the day. And that's basically my simpleton day. I mean, that's how it works as far as eating and exercise. That's all I do. There's
Yeah.
nothing complicated.
I like the earlier. It gives my body a longer amount of time. I typically eat around 4 or 5. And, even if the earlier you can eat, the better, because that's a longer amount of time your body is going to be in that great fat burning mode. So,
Yeah.
if you eat too much late at night, your body is digesting that food while you're sleeping. Whereas opposed to if you eat at 4 or 5, your body's digested it. When you're sleeping, you're in a great fat burning mode, and you're waking up feeling hungry. And that's kind of the that's where you want to be. That means your body has burned off what's in your stomach and it's ready for more food. And if you're looking to really burn that extra layer of fat, you're going to go right to the gym on just some caffeine, some coffee, because that's going to curb your appetite until after you've had your workout.
And
So
that's where we're different. Yeah, that's a great example of where we're different because we're doing it in a similar fashion. My fasting is later in the day. As far as my fasting goes further in the morning to early or to late morning. Your fasting is early evening and rolls to breakfast. We're still fasting during probably the same time period as far as hours.
right,
They're the ebb and flow of where they're at are two different places.
but
And that's
still
again
works.
why we always preach. Everyone's different.
Right.
Everyone thinks me and you probably eat exactly the same. We're on the same regimen, and we're not. Are they very different? No, but they're different enough to where they're to us. We've adapted to our bodies, and that's important to realize too. And if you can, I'm one of those people that if I eat at 4 or 5, I'm starving by 8, 9 at night, and then I don't want to eat because then, even though there's conflicting data on that, on whether eating late at night really affects your metabolism, because let's face it, when you're in nature, you ate when you could. And if you killed, there's many cultures that hunt at night. So they'll hunt at night and then they'll bring the kill back and they'll eat it. So
All
yeah,
right.
it's one of those you're like,
It's I would say it's still similar. It's the same. We're on the same
it's
principle.
safe.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the same. And
and
but that's getting over complicated too, because we're not in that culture, we don't hunt for our own food. We hunt at the grocery store, our local farmer. I hunt, but not enough to sustain myself.
have
So
you put together your diet yet? Because I have. I've actually detailed it out. And for anybody that's interested in actually seeing my workout supplements and the way I eat, I put it together at paleoinc.com/diet. Have you put anything together yet? If not, you
oh,
should.
you're calling me out. You're
I
calling me
am
out right now. Yeah,
on, on
no,
on
I'm
air.
working on it. It actually it's on this. It's on my list right here. It's one of my
Awesome.
list items that I
So
need to get
we
done.
will post the link to Gary's diet and the little description of this video. I'll post mine there. Definitely check it out because It'll help you realize that what we're talking about is easy, and there's
Yeah.
plenty of options. Instead of thinking about all the things you can't have, it's all about the things you can have. And
Well,
it's
a lot of my information though is in my book. See, that's where I'm a little different. A lot of my diet and exercise,
yeah.
it's in my book. Change Your Body, Change Your Life.
Right, and we do
Yeah.
sell Gary's book. Go to his site. There's a little actually Apple link that'll take you right to Gary's book on iTunes.
I'll
It's
take to all
available
my
on
books actually. Yeah.
it's available on Amazon. Just search for Primal Power Method. He goes into a lot of detail, and it'll help give you that understanding and education on why it is that he eats that way. But at the end of the day, it's very simple and common principles that we apply that anybody can do, but you have to make the decision to want to start eating this way. And that's it. You got to be mentally ready. Don't go into eating this way if you're not really committed to change your life. And it won't be very long. I would say the first 3 weeks of eating in this fashion, you'll be dealing with issues with cravings and the withdrawal from sugar and gluten and stuff like that. But after that third week, you're going to feel amazing. And Gary and I, principles we teach here are not just for 30 days. They're for the rest of your life. And this is the way we eat every day. It's not just a 30-day, dedicated, focused plan.
Yeah.
It's
We don't
forever.
get thin for our bikinis in the
Yeah.
summer, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And once again, it's really easy to eat this way. I mean, we just described it, and it's like not a big deal. And there's so many things you can eat, and
Yeah.
there's just some, you just have to understand what to avoid, and that's it. So, the products I make really tend to focus on helping you. Are into this way of eating, and they make it a lot easier with the mixes. We have cereal now. Typically for dessert, I have cereal. To be honest with you, like some almond coconut milk. It's our cereal is made from just coconut. You get a great source of fiber, curbs your appetite, curbs your cravings for sugar. And everything we've talked about here, usually every meal I have has fiber in it, and that curbs those cravings for anything that you shouldn't be eating.
Yeah, and that's interesting. I've used your cereal as a dessert too. It's great with a little almond milk and some little chunks of banana or some berries in it. Man, it is a great dessert. And once you're done with it, you're done. I mean, it's not like where you go. I had two cookies yesterday. Was it yesterday before? Gluten-free, natural, and oh my God, was I sick and stuffed.
You
I
can
don't
have a
even know what I
paleo
was.
cookie, Gary. We
Oh,
make paleo cookies.
I know, but I didn't have any. You
I,
haven't
I
sent
I'll
me.
hook you
I feel
up.
cheated.
The brownies and the cookies, man, those are on point, and they don't wreck your
They
blood
are.
sugar.
Well, and I usually just have one.
Yeah,
When I have those, I just have one brownie or one of the cookies, and I'm totally fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. Well, I hope hope you check out Gary's book and the link that we'll provide to my diet, and check out what we're doing, and you'll start realizing that you can do this very easily and get incredible results. Um, That's about it. So if you have any questions, make sure to email Gary at theprimalshow.com and myself at Heath at theprimalshow.com. We do answer questions on air, so feel free to email us if you have any health or weight loss questions. We're here to help, and that's what this show is all about. And make sure you hit the subscribe button on our channel. It'll update you and let you know, notify you when we make new videos. So we have a lot of exciting interviews planned. We got Dr. Cordain coming up in September, the founder of the Paleo diet. So make sure you keep coming back for more of our videos. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later.